Welcome back. And I think I'm going to do a few in this shirt because I'm not going to change shirts in the middle unless I just get really hot. Squeak. Anyways, so you guys know, been trying to fix all the things, been trying to do all the things, and I never really said I was looking for another job. I just said I'm trying all the things because I just didn't want to throw myself under the bus if, by chance, somebody from my job listened. So now I'm saying I've been looking for a job a lot. I got up at 5 in the morning, and when I was working on tax stuff, that was the thrust. Then when I was working, getting all the bankruptcy stuff, that's what I had to do. Then all through all that was also sending in application after application after application. So here's the thing. It sounds like I only just need a bunch of money, right? Like I need some job that's going to pay a ton of money. Yeah. But no, because the other thing that was really difficult was going so far to work, because it's also so far from Rich's dialysis. So I can make the commute. I know people do it all the time. It was about an hour, give or take situations or times of day, right? So an hour there, an hour back. However, you've got to realize we only have one car, and Rich's dialysis is a whole different city than we live and where I worked. So it was a matter of him driving with me to work, then him driving to dialysis, which took about maybe 45 minutes, I think, and then 45 minutes back to me after dialysis, where he would nap in the car until I got off work, and then we would drive the hour home. So where I was complaining about the commute, it wasn't always just about me. It was just hard on us situationally. I know people drive and commute to work. I get it. We just have a couple of extra layers. So yes, I wanted money, but I also needed something that was convenient to both of us, right? Because dialysis doesn't spontaneously get easier. It actually just gets harder. And this poor guy is napping in the car for like 3 hours in the heat. Not to mention the price of gas that's a big one to swallow. So now you've got this chunk of money that if you get closer, you don't have to spend that chunk of money as much. So I've been looking because I needed something close, which sounds really easy because I'm in a quickly growing spot, and I was not finding it as easy as I thought. And I was taking some heat for the fact that I wasn't finding it as quickly as I thought. I was enlisting help. I was redoing resumes. I was doing everything I could think of to do for real. And then I would have this is the job, and suddenly it would be yanked. That happened a few times where something weird would happen, and where I thought this was gold at the end of it was no rainbow, but you know what I'm saying? Gold at the end of I don't know, maybe light at the end of the tunnel, but let's put gold at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So I thought that was going on, but then it wouldn't, right? Like it was just kind of an emotional bleh. And you get down on yourself. Anybody that's had to look for a job, I have never been in this situation before. So, oh my God, you're going to develop a pretty thick skin because, Lord, somebody has one bit more experience than you. Somebody's done one more thing than you, one less thing than you. They're younger, they're cuter, they're maler, I don't know. I didn't have any of those specific situations, but you know what I'm saying? There's always somebody who has something. And, it was a long time to find a job. And then suddenly it was right after I said I am changing my mindset, and I think I actually even said that on here, that I realized I was getting just angry, depressed. Like, I don't, this is going to sound shitty and I don't mean it to be shitty in any way. I didn't have time to be depressed because I've got to get up and go to work. I've got to get up and go to work, and being gone as much as I was gone, over 12 hours a day. By the time I got home, I had to do some caretaking, and it was time to go to bed so I could get up, so I could do the morning stuff of looking for a job, dealing with taxes, dealing with bankruptcy, whatever I had to do so I could get to work again. And I just felt like this job was just standing on my head, and I just resented it, and I hated it, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get a job, like just all the emotions, right? Like I was just kind of inside pissed, just pissed. And not a lot of people saw it. The ones closest to me definitely did, because I was just pissed. Nothing was working out and going my way, and not even my way, just any new way. Like, what the hell? And so I did finally just, you know what? I have such a negative mindset that my vibration is so low that I think the universe can't help but to throw shit at me, because it's the vibration it's meeting with. It's the only thing I'm putting out. And so I just kind of had a talk with myself, like, hey, self, quit it. You got to quit it. You've got to manifest some good stuff. You've got to see it working out. You can't just be living in fear and lack and anger and resentment and hate, kind of. And so I just kind of like, you know what? We're not doing that anymore. That isn't me, and it's not the me I want to be. And I see that it's the me I have become and am becoming. And I don't like it. So I decided just to make the best of it. Vibe high, be grateful. I literally, when I would wake up, like you do when you're in a really stressful situation, I would wake up so stressed. Like, how am I going to pay this? And how am I going to pay that? And how am I going to make money? And how do I get this? And how do I do that? And I was just, anytime I would wake up doing that, I would immediately switch it to, I'm just so grateful for right now. I am so grateful that I have this office. I am so grateful that I have this home. Not, I hope I keep it. I'm just grateful that I have it. I'm grateful for my yard. I am grateful for my art. I am grateful for photography. I am grateful for my friends. I am grateful. And I would just kind of break it down, right? And I swear to you, I think it like changed something, because suddenly I had interview offers, right? Which that's kind of all you get. And I did some great interviews, and I did some crazy interviews. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And some I was really hopeful for. Some I got there and was like, this isn't what I thought. But I had to take the things into consideration, right? Like, it wasn't just who paid the most money. It was, which way am I going? And it kind of came down to two that I was like, one paid more. However, I was going to be working 6 to 10 on a Tuesday through Sunday schedule. No, Wednesday through Sunday schedule. So basically photography was out, because I would be working 10 to 6 all through the weekend, every day except for Monday and Tuesday. And it didn't quite pay enough to cover everything. So that leaves me in the same stressed out position. Likewise, I was going to be working in a bunch of different places, which was going to leave Rich, once again, driving me to wherever I was, going to dialysis, potentially sleeping in the car until 6, because he gets out of dialysis before that. And it changed nothing for him. It didn't change anything for him. And it made things a little better for me. But it didn't make everything better for me. The other one that came in, ultimately, once I really look at it, it makes about the same as I do now. About the same. But it is 5 minutes from my house. So I get so much time back, right? So I was really kind of confused on which one to do. Yeah, honestly, that sounds weird in hindsight to say that, but I was a little confused because I need the money. I need the money. So, maybe I don't do portrait sessions. Maybe I just sell my art. Maybe I mean, you got to go for the money, right? Like, we're in a situation where clearly I have to make money, and like I have to make it yesterday. And so, you know, this one, it paid more and potentially could pay really well. But I'm also a little leery of sales jobs because the one that I had was also supposed to pay well. And let me tell you, there was never a day in a whole year where I made what they said I was going to be making. Not even the low number. Did not. So I didn't want to go in with but I could make, because man, that's scary in sales. So I was going in with the base pay. It was still a step up from what I had. I was running numbers. I was running, you know, time and decisions. And do I want to give up photography? Or maybe I just sell fine art photography and I don't really focus on portraits. Maybe I could schedule portraits for Mondays and Tuesdays and just, you know, like, when am I going to edit? And when am I going to paint? When am I going to, like, I just kept going in a circle, right? I'm trying to figure out, because basically it came down to the two. And I didn't know. I don't know. I was confused. So I had a few more interviews. I still talked to more people, and nothing was swaying me from these top two that I wanted. And just had to choose between, because one of them, I did get stuck. And I talked to one of my really good friends, and I was like, what are people going to say if I take this one and not the high paying one? And like, what, am I going to be judged? Am I going to be, and she was like, nobody's in your shoes. Like, you know what? I mean, if somebody's going to judge you off what you're doing and what you're trying to do, maybe they can come down and help instead of sitting back judging. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, nobody close to me is judging me. I'm open that I have these two things. And I don't know what to do. So, and honestly, anybody that's going to be judging me, this is probably the most they would have heard, is that I did have two that I was choosing between. And I did put a lot of thought into it, and I talked to a lot of people, and I talked to a lot of people whose opinions matter to me, right? And after 11 months, I'm going to tell you what happened in the next one, because we're already at like 13 minutes, and I know you guys don't want to invest an hour into my story. Well, I mean, you've invested an hour, but maybe just not all at once, and I understand that. So I'm going to tell you which way that I went, and I'm going to tell you what's happening now on the next one. But yay for a positive mindset.